it was difficult to like sit down and write to this because the producer Pert, who I named the album after, Jay Smithington,
Yeah.
um, he uh he passed away in 2020. After a long battle with depression. I had no idea really that he was depressed because he was always a guy that was, helping other people through their depression. Through whether through his music, or he was always just that bright light, like, saying, talking to how he talked to people. And his I don't know, man, it's just like every time I played his beats, because he was like a person who like reached out to us early on, through our success with the cipher. He was like, hey, saying, he had come out and we connected, and we did, he threw some beats to us, and so we did a lot of our early material with Perk. And so I owe a lot of, my early success as an artist to him. As he gave me the soundscape that was really unorthodox, and it really caught people's attention when I put his music on. And so I did songs over his beats, and it really worked for me. Those were the songs that made me. And so, when he sent me these beats, I was like, okay, I got some Perk beats, you know what I'm saying? And
Right, 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 right.
I plan on writing to him. And then I heard, what had happened, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, cause he had hit me up and was like, hey, did you get the beats? And I was like, yeah. And I did. I was like, I'm about to lock in with him, you know what I'm saying? Don't worry, you know what I'm saying? Then he left us right before the pandemic really took off. And so it was a crazy way, I think, for a lot of the people in the hip hop community and NC to start off the pandemic. Was like a lot of people died before COVID, and it was like a wave of death, saying, that came right after Perk died. It was like millions died. And that's how it in my life, I'm dealing with grief from Perk, and then millions of people died. My two of my grandmothers died. Like, everybody was dying. Main man
Mm.
died. You know what I'm saying? It was so many people dying left and right. And I had a hard time sitting there writing to these beats for a long time. Like, every time I listened to them, I could hear him in the record. Like, I could hear his spirit, and I could see him. It was like a window opened up, and I could see him standing there at the MPC hitting the pads, and
Yeah.
I could hear the room around him in the beat, and it was like his ghost was there in the beat. And so I every time I would try to write, I would break down, start crying, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't sit there and listen to his beats for a long time. It was like 2 years before I could sit there, and I knew I had to do it, because it was like he gave me a mission. He was like, you gotta write to these beats. And I knew it. It was like when I listened to it and I seen him there, was like his spirit, his angel was like telling me, you gotta write to these beats, and you gotta fulfill the mission. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it's something I had to do. And it was it was hard to do, but I did it for him. I wrote lyrics that I feel like he would have enjoyed, which I think he really enjoyed, like the high tier lyricism. And that's what I brought to the table when I first, got on board with him. And I think, it it's like I wanted to do this for him, what I'm saying, do this for him, and all the other people, bro. It's like now, I'm about to be I forget how old I am. It's like I think I'm about to be 37. And so now it's like so many people that have died now. It's like I remember
Yeah.
being a young man and barely, my grandmother died, my grandfather died, but that was about it. And then it's like through life, it's like so many people was taken away from us,
Right.
and I can't keep track of all the faces now. And it's and so I think a lot of it comes from that. It's like, I'm trying to process that, but I'm trying not to be depressed about it. I'm trying to talk about it without bringing the audience down too much. So it's like I gotta find a way to, like, speak, for the people we lost. You know what I'm saying? The good ones who died young. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know I ain't shit, because I'm trying to be an old man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know who the good ones were, bro. They left before they could become corrupt like us. So it's a lot that we after a certain age you start to carry with you. You know what I'm saying? There's so many like voices of people that's no longer with us. As they're only there in your heart. You know what I'm saying? They're
Right.
only they you carry them. You know what I'm saying? They stick with you.
They become part of you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yo, that's what's up, man. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. We've all lost. We've all
yeah,
But I'm gonna tell you, man. That's it don't make it easier, man.
yeah,
As we're all going, I was thinking, I don't know, a couple years ago when all this stuff was happening, and I was like, yo, man, there's so many people that I've lost, that everybody's lost, really,
yeah,
and it just changes you, man, as a person, and you like, I probably need to get a handle on some of this stuff eventually, but the reason it hurts so much is because they meant that much to you.
yeah,
And it's hard, man. Yo, I can 100% get down with that, man. Yo, and I'm gonna tell you this: you don't never bring the audience down. You don't ever bring the crowd down. Us as artists,
yeah.
we have long form discussions like this now,
Oh yeah,
and if people want to tune in and figure out what we're really legitimately seeing, as opposed to taking a small segment and going, oh no, you can look at and be like, okay, this is where this person's thinking, you know.
yeah,
So,
sure.
mad love to you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I love me and you, man. I'm gonna tell you something.
Mhm.
Listening and being able to chat with you tonight,
Yes, sir.
it's my pleasure. You
Yeah,
know what
like
I'm saying? Because